Today we will be talking about the Latin square design. The person who is credited with the Latin square is Leonhard Euler from 1707 to 1783. He originally liked to use Latin letters or Greek letters. The interesting thing is we can find it being used as early as 1700s by a Korean named Chao Seok-jung. He created a Latin square of order 9. They called it the magic square. If we're going to use the Latin square, we're going to want to reduce it. So we need to see it in order A, B, C, D for both the rows and the columns. And if we're not using A, B, C, D, it needs to be in preceding order for both our rows and columns. Any of the size squares can occur only once per row. This Latin square allows us to use two sources of error variation or nuisance variability. When we have nuisance factors and we can't combine it, we can't simplify it, a Latin square becomes very useful. Now, related to the Latin square is the Greco-Latin square design and the Hyper-Greco-Latin square. In the bottom, you can find an equation of when you might use it in statistics. Here are some examples where we might be using it. For medical treatments, if I'm doing a 3x3, I might just want to test the effect of ibuprofen versus Tylenol, or Advil versus Tylenol in a placebo, or a 4x4, where you could use naproxen, morphine, fentanyl, and a placebo. Agriculture is where they use it a lot. So when they're testing their corn, their maize, and different types of product, you want to know what's going to grow the fastest, and you don't want to think that it's happening just because this certain area got more rain or this area has more elevation, although you'd want it to have flat. It'd be really useful to have this occurring at the same time to figure what crops are going to be best. You can find it being used a lot for correction codes and communication. And here's my bibliography.